It was funny because I think what gets in people's minds is they feel guilty for being successful.
The trap isn't success. The trap is being the solution to everything.
So today we're going to talk about why high producers feel guilty about actually wanting freedom now. And it's a thing that comes up, I'm sure, all the time with your coaching clients. It comes up with my agents all the time. And I think it's really interesting that we talk about it because I think it's a big, it's a big brain mess up.
Yeah, the first realization that I had when we were talking about this is people feel conflicted. They don't realize they're in a tractor pull. And it's like I want freedom and I feel bad for having freedom. It's kind of like I want to be rich, but I also feel like money's bad. There's this like constraint going on unconsciously that holds a lot of them back. So I'm excited for us to kind of work through it. You've worked with tons of people on this, doing lots, and I've coached, thousands of people around this, and I think we both struggle with this. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. So before we get started, guys, real quick, go ahead and hit that like and share button with us, or actually like and subscribe. And then honestly, if you got somebody in your company, or maybe it's you, or maybe it's your spouse, like share this with them, because it's just going to be a real honest conversation about going about it. Like, we're not preaching, but hit that like and subscribe so we can keep these coming to you. And for those of y'all that don't know, this is Wayne Salmons. I know you should know this now because we've done a couple hundred episodes. Badass coach at Hero Nation, owner of it. And I'm Brad, right? Brad Allen. I'm one of the owners of a, independent company. So let's just get back to it real quick. So here's when I was thinking about this, when we had this conversation the other day and we're kind of mind mapping, it was funny because I think what gets in people's minds is they feel guilty for being successful. And I think when people want to be successful, I literally having this conversation yesterday, and I think it was even my kid. I was like, you have to shed some things, but they're like, well, I'm successful because I haven't shed them. And so they feel guilty because like, well, this is what I wanted, and now it's got me locked in. I have to keep doing it or I'm not going to be successful.
Yeah. Well, and then I think they feel guilty if they are successful and they want time away. They want downtime. They want freedom. They want time to go work on other things or whatever it is. So I think that it's sometimes it's a signal that you are a great person and high achiever, but like staying there is not going to work. I don't think. I think we gotta have some shifts around this.
But also, it's not uncommon to feel this way. I mean, like, it's very common. I mean, I felt like this way for years, to be honest with you. Like, we've built an awesome product, we built an awesome company with awesome people, and then just feels kind of stagnant. Now, it's still being fine, like still making money, still doing all that, but like, I'm like, what's next? And I feel like if I don't come in here every day and do my one-on-ones with my agents and do the trainings and do this, which really is not feeding my soul, then the whole house of cards is going to come down. And I bet most people listening to this probably feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think it's like you get trapped because you're running a bigger business with the mindset of a small business. Yeah. Right. So like in the beginning, its success was kind of dependent on how long you worked and how much you did and everything else. But then as it grows and you're succeeding through others, you still have this mindset that like, if I pull back, too much breaks. Or like, I haven't, I don't deserve, if other people are working, this is an interesting one. Like, if other people are working, I should be working. And I see that so often, like if they're working 9 to 5, I should be working 9 to 5. And that's not necessarily true.
Yeah. It's that whole like first one in, last one out. And I've fallen for that. I had a coordinator years ago, and he was like, dude, and he wasn't kissing up to me because he never did that, but he's like, you're the hardest working dude I've ever worked with. And I took it as a badge of honor, and then I didn't want to stop. So I was like, that felt good. I was acknowledged for working hard. I'm acknowledged for building this. And I got to keep going because I know if I'm here. But now I've realized how many hours I'm wasting by just sitting in the seat because I think I need to sit in the seat,
So here's the thing. We talked about this at E5 the other day. Like, if you're not doing these things, what should you be doing?
Right. Yep.
And I think most people haven't figured that part out.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think that goes back to the time audit we always talk about. I think if you're having this issue, or if you want to talk to somebody who's having this issue, get them to do a 2-week time audit. And yes, that sucks. It's 2 weeks. It's every 15 minutes. It sounds like a lot, and it can be a little daunting, but it's not that bad. And if you do this is the price to pay to get some freedom, but it's going to show you in real time, real paper, real math about what you're doing that you probably shouldn't be doing. And then you layer it on with, what do I actually like doing in this stuff? And I bet you're doing a lot of stuff you don't like, that doesn't serve your soul, that doesn't give you ROI, and you feel stuck because you're doing the wrong jobs.
Yeah, but I think it starts with like, you got to have a vision of like, I want to be able to go on a 2-week vacation and not have to work. Like, you got to start with the vision of like, I want to be a business owner, not just a business worker. So you got to figure that out and then go like, hey, what are the things I should be doing? Then how do we build a bridge to get there? Like, you say, figure out the small things we get rid of.
And I think with that comes with either this time audit or not. go back and look at your text messages or your Slack messages with your team or your company for last week and just compile them and then put them in AI and say, what are the themes here? And I think what you're going to find out is you become the default fixer, the approver, and the answer key to everything. And I bet your people are smart enough to figure out most of the stuff if you let them and get out of your own way.
So what did you mean about the difference between revenue versus reassurance, revenue work versus reassurance work?
What I mean by it?
Yeah.
Well, so I found it very helpful in the Buy Back Your Time book. And we've all seen it. We've all talked about it. 10 different self-help books, right? Or business help books. But it lets you put into quadrants like what feeds your soul and makes you money. What feeds your soul and doesn't make you money. What doesn't make you money but feeds your, so it goes, or what you hate and so what it does is allows you to go, I know like podcasts, like what we're doing here, it feeds my soul because I feel like I get to share and tell people about some scars that we've gotten, but we ain't making a lot of money off this. I think I made 57 cents off my Facebook ads last week. So
there you go.
That's a prime example of not a lot of ROI, but feeds my soul. And then I looked at, okay, what drains me energy wise, but brings the highest ROI. And by looking at it, it was recruiting. And so I had a decision to make. I offload the recruiting to somebody else, which we know doesn't really work, or I get serious with it and I jump in all in and I get good at it and I make myself like it, or I look at it like eating my vegetables and I just got to eat my vegetables every day. Just got to do it.
No.
It has to happen. That's what I meant by, that explain it a little bit better?
Yeah, no, it totally does. And I think that goes into this thing where most people are frustrated because they feel like they are leashed to their business, right? Like they're stuck to this thing. They can't get more than 2 feet away from it without getting pulled back in, right? They can't get 6 hours away from it without getting pulled back in. And I think that if I was talking to somebody right now, I'd be like, hey, what identity do you want to have? Do you want to have the identity of I work the most hours, or look how well this runs without me? Which identity do you want to have? Do you want to have the identity, like you were saying, like I'm the hardest worker around here? Or do I want to have the identity of like, look what I've built, look how good this runs without me? And I think that that's what most people have to, but you got to switch that identity and start building towards that.
Well, I mean, I think it's a fair feeling to feel like if I'm not there, everybody's going to leave and it's going to fall apart. Right? Like I have looked at that for years where I see people like they have real estate companies or any kind of company and they are checked out and everybody's still running smoothly. And I'm like, dude, if I did that, all hell would break loose. But I think that's more of a therapy problem for me than an actual reality. Right? So I don't think that actually happens to people. I think, and also I don't think that's everybody's goal either. So, I mean, again, if people are listening, like that's not me, that's fine. Be a grinder, but I would say be a grinder on stuff you like and not on the other stuff you like, Yeah.
Well, and I would just say like, stop being stupid. And stupid is, I wrote the same email for the first time 40 times, right? Like instead of making a template, right? Like it's stupid to not just write down the password and have everybody have to come to you every 5 minutes asking you what the password is. Like that's the simplest version of this. So if you want to build something that you get freedom and fulfillment, this is what you actually begin to do. And I mean, hell, I think at like E45, we started giving belts away to people that went on a 2-week vacation and didn't touch their phone. Like, I think that needs to be part of the prize. Like, I went away for 2 weeks, didn't touch my phone, and my business didn't fall apart. And it's like, cool. Like, what am I going to do to make that happen? And start writing down things like, oh, this came across the plate. Why did this question hit my plate? Right? Because I don't have the answer written down somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, let's write down the answer. Right? Why is everybody asking me where we order paper from? Because I didn't write it down somewhere on here's where we get shit from. Right? So like stop making it complicated. And but like you said, it's all about identity. I would be proud of what you built that can run without you. I want you to know everything and only do the most important things that only you can do.
And I think that leads back to the question everybody needs to ask themselves. Are you really the best leader for your organization? Right? Because I think some people have been voluntold they're a leader or have volunteered to be the leader, but really deep down, they're like, I'm a badass listing agent and I just want to be in front of people's dining room tables all the time. And I don't want to deal with the agent or the training, which I think is also fair. And that might be why you're stuck, because you're doing a bunch of stuff you don't want to do.
And dude, I think I'm so glad you brought that up, because one of the interesting things that you and I believe in that most people disagree with is there are so many different ways to build a business. And I think that in order to make it commercially marketable, companies like Keller Williams, all these other ones said like, here is the golden path, right? You follow these exact 7 steps. And there's some truth in there, but guess what? There's so many different ways to do this. And to your point, we've had people like, hey, I don't mind going to listing presentations. I'm bad at listing presentations. I love going to listing presentations. It's cool. And they hire someone to run the operation side. Like, I want nothing to do with that. Just tell me where to sign checks and I want to go on listing appointments. you can build it so many different ways. And I think that there, especially in America, there's this whole stint towards be good at everything you're bad at. And I don't think that's always 100% the case. I think sometimes like go be best in the world at what you're good at and get people around you to help with what you're bad at. Now, it's not an excuse to not know your numbers. It's not an excuse to not like have your pulse on the business. It's not an excuse to not do your check-ins like that. But man, there's so much to it. So like if you feel like maybe you're not in your strength zone, hey, maybe have a conversation with us, or maybe come to E4, E5, because I tell you what, it is one of the hardest things to figure out on your own. You need an outside perspective to help you really get that down.
Yeah, and when you're just talking about that whole like listing and presentation stuff, I'm just thinking in my mind some of the people that we help that, they get the listing, they go back, they drop it. We've helped them train their people that's all they're doing, rinse and repeat. They're not doing, they're not compiling the P&Ls, but they definitely have to have the CEO hours. That's part of it too. Like, let's define our CEO hours.
Yes.
We have to sit down. Dude, I look at 17 different P&Ls a month. I hate it. But you know what I also do? I have 2 people look at it before I do, so I can kind of see their notes, and I know it's already been looked over. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, okay, cool. And so so again, it's the leverage and structure that a little braggadocious that we bring to people and companies and teams that allows them to leverage that and not fall in the real trap of success, right? And that's the thing. You don't have to be stuck. You don't have to be where you are. But you do have to take the first step, and that's either identifying your own problems yourself by doing like buy back your time, or like reach out to us. Down the description, there's a link to 45. Fill it out. See if you're a good fit, where you can get real honest answers from other team leaders, not just us. And I think we can get you unstuck, right? So I think
we hear those stories all day long, and I love what you wrote down. The trap isn't success. The trap is being the solution to everything. That's so good. So if you're tired of being burned out, burning up, or missing out, it doesn't need to stay that way.
Yeah. So y'all watch the next episode. It's going to be on burned out, but afraid to slow down, right? So same kind of concept, but a little bit different. And so we want to take that for you, the performers that kind of get into weird circles and cycles. And we want to talk through that. So make sure you hit that button up top, watch the next episode so we can start working through that phase of your life.
Absolutely.
Hey, real quick, if you're liking this content, imagine having a full day immersed with people that are on this, like us, that are learning from each other.
Man, we do these kind of events, these intensive, a couple times a year. And if you know that you are the smartest person in the room and you need to get in some other rooms, this is the place to be, right? So apply, send us a message right now. We'll send you the application link and see if you are the right fit to be in one of the rooms.